Right now, a large number of conservatives are flooding the airwaves with allegations that Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar personally concocted and staged the shocking liquid spray attack which took place at her recent town hall. Among their theories that Omar herself actually orchestrated a fake assault by choreographing the entire incident with the 55-year-old man who rushed the stage before using a loaded syringe to douse her with a foul-smelling brown liquid. In case you missed it, the Congresswoman was in the middle of a public event in her Minneapolis district and in the process of trashing Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem when the suspect approached her from the crowd after spraying her with the unknown junk, which has since turned out to be nothing more than relatively harmless, watered-down apple cider vinegar. He was then quickly tackled, arrested by law enforcement, and has since been hit with a number of federal charges, including assault, as you can imagine. Among other things, Omar's critics now claim the entire fiasco was nothing more than a Somali false flag scam, that at the very least it's highly suspicious, and that it's entirely likely she made the whole thing up in order to play the victim and draw sympathy to her anti-ICE crusade. Furthermore, some people now argue that evidence of the hoax is crystal clear and hiding in plain sight. They say that just prior to the spraying, Omar clearly gives her knowing approval to the suspect by looking directly into his eyes and then gently nodding her head right before he goes on to spray the liquid all over her. So you know President Trump himself is leading the charge and accusing Omar of wrongdoing, saying that in any case, she's undoubtedly a fraud and that knowing her as well as he does, she most likely arranged to have herself sprayed in the first place. In the meantime, rather than rejoicing, a number of Omar's fiercest congressional enemies are actually rallying behind her. Well, sort of. They say now they simply want her to be denaturalized and deported, but that they really don't want her to be attacked or hurt in any way. And look, that's just kind of a fancy way of saying, we wish you well out of our lives. Run along now. And for her part, Representative Omar pinning the blame for the incident entirely on the shoulders of President Trump. She says that every time he uses hateful rhetoric against both her and the Somali community, the death threats which are made against her skyrocket. She also claims she won't ever back down, that fear and intimidation will never work against her, and that no matter what, she's ultimately a survivor. You know, back in the 1980s, there was a rock band called Survivor. Pranav has a picture of that band. And guess what? They didn't survive. Just saying. Final thoughts, and this is the News Roundup Lowdown. Here's how it all pans out, the way I see it anyway. Now, look, we've heard from literally hundreds and hundreds of folks who've left comments for us right here, absolutely insisting that this was all staged, a pretend attack. Nothing more than a big publicity stunt carried out against the one we affectionately refer to as the Minneapolis-based fraudulator-in-chief. That title, by the way, is born of the fact that she represents Minnesota's 5th District, where hundreds of millions of dollars worth of fraud has been uncovered. But it would be inappropriate to bring that up right now. Something else we absolutely refuse to talk about today is her sudden good fortune, where she recently went from being close to broke to having $25, maybe $30 million or more in the bank. That's all off limits right now. And we're simply going to stay on the trail. No money talk from me. Not today. Now I got lost. Where was I? Oh, yeah, that earth-shattering violent attack where an ounce or two of apple cider vinegar, which they say has a bunch of health benefits, by the way, that was poured on Moneybags Omar. Now, if that doesn't count as an attack, I don't know what does. You know, that jug could have made contact with her shirt and maybe even left an ugly stain. The humanity. Hey, man, dry cleaning, it ain't cheap, and she'd be the one on the hook for the cleaning bill. And she ain't rich. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Looking ahead, in case you hear down the road that Omar puts up bail for this terrible attacker and then refuses to press charges, only because she's a compassionate person, not because this whole event was a hoax. Finally, if you truly think this apple cider vinegar assault was staged, then clearly you're not a fan of that America-loving, flag-saluting, moneyed-up, fine human being we all know, love, and deeply respect. Her name is Congress gal Ilhan Omar. Hey, Bill Thomas here. If you like what you see, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon. And don't forget to check out our channel, News Roundup with Bill Thomas. And that's where you can catch our full program and more videos. And we'll see you right back here next time.